Hello again, my name is Karen, and today I am going to be swatching, doing 5 looks and reviewing this eyeshadow palette right here. This is the Wizard of Oz and Kylie Eye and Face Pressed Powder Palette. This is what it looks like on the outside, and it has a field of poppies and Dorothy laying on it. This is very in tune with the movie The Wizard of Oz, because there's a field of poppies and they make anybody that stays there too long sleepy until they sleep forever. I think that's how it works. I watched many adaptations of The Wizard of Oz, including the one with Judy Garland, and I really enjoy the one from Once Upon a Time. I feel like the storyline was very interesting. I loved it. Okay, so this is what it looks like, the actual palette. It's gold all over the sides, on the bottom, and on the back you can see the colors with the color names. So on the top we have the eyeshadows. It's a 12 pan palette. Then on the bottom we have the highlighter, which is called Yellow Brick Road, and the blush, which is called Wizard of Oz. All right, so according to the website, it says that it is clean, vegan, cruelty-free, no fragrance added, and gluten-free. I forgot to mention that when you open up the box, total is right there, and it is super duper cute. The other thing that I forgot to mention is that it does have a mirror. It has the characters right here. It has Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion. So it does have shade names on it as well. And now I am going to swatch it. Okay, now I'm going to be swatching it, and I'm going to start with the top row. Okay, so first we have Glinda the Good Witch, and that is an icy pink with gold shimmer. Next we have Crystal Ball, which is a brick colored matte. Followed by Wicked Witch, which is a vibrant green matte that doesn't swatch well. Then we have Dorothy. It's a sky blue with iridescent shimmer. Next is Wild Poppies, which is a warm mustard matte. And last on that row is Broomstick, which is a cool brown matte. So that's the first row. Now going on to the second row. The first one in that row is I'm Melting, which is a ruby metallic. Next is Sweet, which is a pinky beige matte. Next is Cowardly Lion, and this is a yellow gold metallic. Next to it is Scarecrow, and that is an emerald green metallic that also does not swatch well. Followed by, let's see, Tin Man, which is a silver metallic. And finally on that row we have Total, which is a dark warm brown matte. Then we have the highlighter Yellow Brick Road and the blush Wizard of Oz. The blush is supposed to be a poppy rose, and the highlighter Yellow Brick Road is supposed to be gold. Okay, so I feel like these are not the best shadows to swatch. They actually go on the eye a whole lot better than they swatch. All right, so I am going to begin with look number 1. I am starting out with Sweet, and I am using Sweet on my crease and above my crease, and also on my lid. And it goes on really nicely, although it's very powdery. Next, I am using Crystal Ball, and Crystal Ball is a little bit of a darker shade. It's kind of like a orangey brown, and as you can see, it kind of deepens the color just a little bit. Next, I am using Glinda the Good Witch, and this is a shimmer. it does nothing without setting spray. Just dry brush doesn't do anything. So I am wetting my brush with a setting spray, and that's how I'm adding it. And as you can see, it shows a lot better. But it shows a lot better when you use your finger on top of the setting spray. And last, I'm using the crystal ball on my bottom lash line. All right, I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. I'll be back. I am back, and I am going to be trying out this right here, which is the blush pigmented. It's nice. The highlighter that comes in a palette is this one right here, and it's called Yellow Brick Road. It's like an antique gold shade. I feel like it does not go with this look, so I'm not gonna put it on right now. I'm gonna use it for another look. All right, I think that now it's a great time to try this out. So this is the Wizard of Oz and Kylie Jenner Transformative Lip Tint. Here is the product right here. It is a beautiful emerald green product. As you can see, it's like green see-through gloss with this metallic cap. Okay. This is what the applicator looks like. It's very, very wide. I've never seen such a wide applicator. So I want you to see my lips, how they look now, naturally. In a few minutes, I'm going to show it to you again just to see the difference. Okay, so a couple minutes have passed, and this is what my lips are looking like. As you can see, they are just like a tiny bit rosier than they were before, but it is barely noticeable. What I did notice about this product is that it does not feel sticky whatsoever. It is like a lip gloss, so it's glossy, but it's not like overly glossy. And it just feels like a very hydrating lip balm. It's supposed to transform according to your lips. I tried it before, like right after I got out of Ulta, and it's cold outside, and it didn't do anything. Like it didn't transform my lips at all. Like it didn't transform the color on my lips at all. So I am thinking that it probably has to do with temperature. And I was like, do I have lizard lips or something? But I think it is that it was cold outside. That's why it wasn't doing anything. Now that it's a little bit warmer, then now you can see a little bit of pink to it. So if you naturally have very warm lips, I guess it's gonna get a stronger color. Okay, so this is finished look number one, Glenda the Good Witch. Look number two is called Emerald City, and it's just going to be a couple of shades that I'm going to be using. Okay. So I am going to start out with Wicked Witch, which is this green matte right there. This shade is so difficult to put on. I don't know if it's what I have underneath, which is a color corrector and a eyeshadow primer, but it is so difficult to put on. It just looks patchy and it's hard to work with. I ended up using that blue brush that I had a little bit of setting spray on, and that's how I was putting it on, and it made it a little bit better because the color went on a little bit more solid than translucent. Anyways, now I am going to diffuse it. That's what I'm doing right now, diffusing it. Right now, like, it just reminds me of the 80s eyeshadows. My mom has a picture where she was wearing eyeshadow like this in the 80s, and I feel like there was a lot of people like in her friends group that used eyeshadow like this, usually just like one single eyeshadow, and they diffused it around the eye, and it was the look back then. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grab Scarecrow, which is the shimmery green right here, and I'm gonna be using that on my lid. I'm gonna be using it with this flatter type of brush, and I'm gonna start out with just like a dry brush, and if that's not working, then I'm gonna use the setting spray. I didn't get any of the liquid lipsticks from Kylie, so I am using the NYX Lip Lingerie, and this is in the shade Beauty Mark. Now I'm gonna try out this Yellow Brick Road highlighter, which is right here, right next to the blush. It's very, very glittery. I feel like there's glitter on my eyelashes. There's glitter on my eyeballs. There's glitter everywhere. All right, so this is finished look number 2, Emerald City. On to look number 3. By the way, I'm using this right here to take off my matte lipstick, and this is the Milani Keep It Clean Longwear Lip Color Remover. It is amazing because just a makeup wipe doesn't do anything to it. Look number 3 is called Cowardly Lion, and I am going to begin with Wild Poppies. Wild Poppies is this shade up here. All right, so I am using Wild Poppies, and that is a very nice matte shade. It goes on evenly, smoothly. Now I'm using Toto, and Toto is a shade that is just really hard to work with. I took a long time, a lot longer than I'm showing you in the video, because it goes on patchy, and I don't know if it's what I have underneath, but every time I used it, it just was really difficult to work with. So after this, I am using Cowardly Lion, which is again that metallic shade. And metallic shades in this palette, they just need setting spray, and on top of that you need to use your finger. On my lips, I'm going to be using Cashmere Silk from NYX Lip Lingerie. So this is finished look number 3, Cowardly Lion. On to look number 4. All right, so look number 4 is called Dorothy Meets the Tin Man. And I am going to begin with Toto, which is the dark brown shade right there. Out of all the looks, this is the one that was the hardest to come up with because I didn't think that that color combo would work, but it actually came out really good. So I'm really happy about it. I am using under eye setting powder underneath this eyeshadow, and that seems to be working for that Toto shade. Now I am grabbing Tin Man and using it with a wet brush and then my finger on top of that setting spray, and that seems to be doing the trick. This shade really needs building up. Okay, so now I'm using Dorothy, and Dorothy is supposed to be an iridescent shimmer, but it looks more like a matte with a little bit of glitter, and it is pigmented. Now I'm adding a little bit more Tin Man on top, and it's looking really, really good. So I'm loving it. Okay, so in the corner, I'm adding a little bit more Toto, so I can blend it with the shadow right next to it, and it's going on really nice, not patchy at all. For this look, I'm going to be using again NYX Lip Lingerie, and this is in the shade Push Up. Okay, so this is finished look number 4, Dorothy Meets the Tin Man. On to look number 5. So for the last look, I'm not going to use the color corrector, just the eyeshadow primer. Put on some of this on top. This is the Chic Glam Insta Ready Face Under Eye Setting Powder Duo, and you can see that it makes my skin look so nice. I absolutely love this thing. Okay, so look number 5 is called Ruby Slippers. I am going to begin with Broomstick. Broomstick is this right here in the corner. It's kind of like a very like cool tone brown. Broomstick, it doesn't show up on the Ulta website. I don't know why, but it does show up on the Kylie Cosmetics website, and it says that it's a cool brown matte. Next, I am using Crystal Ball, which is a brick matte on the outer corner, just to deepen it just a tiny little bit. And I am using it very little by little just to build it up, and it builds up really nice. All right. Next, I am using the shade I'm Melting, which is a ruby metallic. I feel like it's more of a pinkish color than a reddish color. And this shade goes on really nicely with the finger. Okay, so I'm going to finish off this look with, again, NYX Lip Lingerie in the shade Exotic. This is finished look number 5, Ruby Slippers. All right, so let me give you my final thoughts. When I first saw this palette, I felt like the colors didn't go together as a color story, but they totally go with the theme of the Wizard of Oz. You have like this area right here, which is very much like Glinda, the Good Witch. Then you have this area right here, which reminds me of Emerald City, the Yellow Brick Road, the lion, that's like kind of like this color. Then you have over here like the Dorothy color. Then you have like the Tin Man, and then like the Scarecrow, the monkey, you know, that kind of thing. And like over here, maybe like ruby slippers, like Dorothy's ruby slippers, except that this is kind of like a shimmery metallic pink and not necessarily a red. This blush is actually really pretty. It looks very natural. You could always build it up to make it a little bit more bright. I just happen to put just a little bit. This highlighter I am not a fan of. I don't know if you can still see it, but I feel like this highlighter is more like, it's way too glittery for my taste. You can see it right here. It is like an antique gold. While this one over here is a little bit more of a true gold, this one is like an antique gold, and it's lighter. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's a very nice eyeshadow palette. The formula seems nice, except for Toto, which I feel like that Toto color, yeah, that's what it reminds me of, Toto right there. Actually, that looks like Toto. Toto is brown. So that Toto shade, it just kept on going on patchy, and I don't know why. So I don't know if it's just me or if it's just because it's a dark shade and dark shades tend to look patchy. I don't know. But the rest of the shades went on really nice. They are powdery, like the mattes are powdery. They're not creamy whatsoever. They're definitely powdery. You can see this one right here. Very, very powdery. This one right here. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the type of formula. And for me, as long as they blend well, they diffuse nicely, then it really doesn't matter if they're creamy, if they're powdery, if they're buttery. It doesn't really matter. As long as they have color payoff, they don't fall all over my face, and they last. And there's a lot that I'm asking for, especially in this price range. So yeah, I mean, it's a really cute palette, especially for nostalgic value. I think that it's really cute. As far as the transforming lip tint, I feel like it is definitely one of those products that is gonna work with temperature. So if your lips are warm, it's gonna be a little bit more vibrant than if your lips are cold. And if your lips are cold, it's not gonna turn any color. It's just gonna look glossy. Love, love, love the formula of this because it isn't sticky whatsoever, and it just leaves your lips feeling very hydrated and cute. So that's a plus. Okay, so yeah, that was my review for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this palette. Are you gonna pick it up or are you just gonna pass on it? Until next time, thanks for watching. Have a great day and stay safe out there. Bye.